What's going on, Team Go-Getter? It's Coach Kelly here, and this is going to be a 3 or 4 part video, and excuse the hair, it's very long and definitely needs to be cut. And I've been in my office here doing some homework and some herbal work, and like I said, it's going to be like a 3-part video, possibly 4, depending on the length. But this is going to be some really good training for you, for those of you that are trying to get your business up and running. The first thing I wanted to go over is good business practices as an Herbalife coach. There are a good 5 key areas that I wanted to discuss with everybody, just so that we're all on the same page, we're all clear, so that we don't run into any issues in your own business. These are just a few tidbits that I've learned along the way. I am currently an active supervisor, and by the end of the month I will be an official world team member. Woo-woo, so excited for that. And guys, I mean, it's just an amazing opportunity what you can do. And sometime tomorrow I'm going to be shooting another video because I had some training with executive president's team member Kelly Hosaka, who is in Hawaii, and since I'm an active supervisor, I am a part of an exclusive group for active supervisors only, and she put out some amazing training videos herself today, and so I'm always going to try to pass down whatever I learned from my upline, and I'm going to try to pass that information down as often and as efficiently as I can to my downline, which means you guys. So one of the things that I've been putting together is good business practices. These are things that I have learned, that I have been mentored about from my own upline and from my own team, and just general rules that we all try to follow so that we're being ethical business people, that we're not stepping on toes, and that we're not causing any type of friction anywhere within our Herbalife businesses. Okay, we all are part of what's called the Rockstar team, which I put a video up about what it means to be on the Rockstar team a couple weeks ago, but just to reiterate really quick, my upline coach is Lisa Arnold. The Rockstar team is Lisa Arnold's conglomerate, okay? It's whoever she has signed up as a coach, whoever her coaches have signed up as coaches, and downward, okay? And so I'm a part of the Rockstar team because Lisa Arnold is my coach, and as your coach, you are also a part of the Rockstar team, but I am your immediate upline coach. That means whenever you guys have a question, a concern, a comment, anything like that, you guys need to come to me first. Think of me as like the commanding officer. I am not your boss, but I am your go-to girl. So you guys always come to me first before you post a question in the Rockstar Coaches Team group, or really try to avoid, this is going to sound a little harsh, but try to avoid reaching out directly to other coaches, and here's why. For one, I'm your immediate coach. If I don't have an answer, then I will know where to get the answer. So it's my job and my responsibility as your coach to help you get those answers, okay? I know that I'm not always available 24/7. I do have a full-time job outside of the home, so there's days and times that I'm not able to get to you right away, but just know that I will get to you as soon as I possibly can. Even if it means sneaking my phone into the bathroom at work to answer a question, I'll do whatever I have to do because I'm committed to helping you guys build your business. But all I ask in return is that you're patient with me. There's should be nothing in the Herbalife business that is considered an emergency, that you've got to have an answer right this very minute. If you have a client that is asking you a question and they need an answer, the simple answer to them is, I don't have an answer for you. Let me get back to you on that. I'll try to get back to you by the end of the day. There's nothing emergent in an Herbalife business to where you can't wait until somebody can answer your question. And I know sometimes it's a little overwhelming because you're like, well, I'm available right now. I might not be available later when you're available, and I really don't want this to linger out there. So I'm just going to post a question in coaches group, or I'm going to ask one of the other coaches. It's okay to use the coaches group from time to time to ask some basic questions, but when it comes to a coaching question, and that's helping with one of your clients, that is if you're having website issues or you need a question answered about a product or anything like that, you always need to come to me first. All of us in the Rockstar team have our own businesses that we're building. And so when somebody from my downline goes to another coach, it's kind of frowned upon, only because, for one, it's kind of like, you know, going around Kelly to somebody else and not even giving me the opportunity to try to help you first, which is what I'm supposed to do as your supervisor. But also what that does is that puts a burden, and I don't like using the word burden, so forgive me. It's not putting a burden, but when you go to another coach who's already so busy with their own clients and their own coaches, it just kind of bogs them down a little bit, and all they're going to do is they're going to come back to me and be like, hey, your friend so-and-so has a question. They came to me, but I referred them back to you. Just thought I'd let you know. And I understand it can be frustrating, but, you know, think of it like this, okay? I'm a military wife. Most of the people that I know are military wives, okay? Let's just say your husband is in Command A, and his chief is not available to answer a question. So rather than waiting for that chief to get back to ask that question, or asking somebody else in your immediate team, you go outside and you go to another command and you ask somebody else's chief in another command. That's kind of like what you're doing if you're going around me and you're private messaging or texting or asking another coach on the Rockstar team's input. It's kind of like going to another command. Or let's just say you have a McDonald's franchise. Rather than calling your own regional manager, you call a regional manager that's in another state and ask them a question. Again, depending on the situation, it's okay to get somebody else's feedback and opinion, but the point I'm trying to make is you have to always come to me first, because we don't want to take up anybody else's time when you could have just waited for me. I know that sounds harsh, but it's just, it's a courtesy, basically, is not to bombard somebody else who's already getting questions and emails and text messages from people on their own team. Now they got to worry about somebody on somebody else's team. So I just ask that going forward, for any of you that have a question, come to me first, text me, email me, Facebook me, call me, whatever. Just understand that I will get an answer for you. It just might not be if I'm at work. My time belongs to the bank Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. I do take breaks from time to time and check my phone. It's right there next to my mouse pad all day long, so I can see who's calling me, I can see who's texting me, and I might say something like, hey, I'll get back to you this evening, or let me find out for you. But just going forward, let's try to direct all of your questions to me, and then if I don't have an answer, then I will seek out another coach and I will get the answer for you. So that's my promise to you. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to talk about is using photos from the other group and other coaches. We all want to share our successes and our stories, and we're all about sharing. So if you see somebody's success picture and story and you want to repost that, until you really get to know somebody, just send them a quick message. Hey, do you mind if I use that in my own news feed? You know, when you start getting more relational with people, it can become automatic. But for somebody for the first time starting out, if you've never used this particular person's information, I always, just as a courtesy, so I'm not rude or putting somebody's information out there that they may not want out there, I just always, hey, do you mind if I use that? And a lot of times they'll just kind of give you the disclaimer, hey, yeah, anytime, don't even worry about it, just use it. But always that first initial introduction, I always ask. I wouldn't want somebody putting my information out there globally. You know, my Facebook page is set to private. So if somebody from another team is taking my picture and they're putting that out globally on a private page, I might have an issue with that. So I always ask before I do that to somebody else, because I would want them to do that to me. When you are resharing pictures and things like that, another good rule of thumb is if it's not yours, don't claim it as yours. So perfect example would be like, I see somebody put up a picture of a recipe that made. I'm not going to then repost that picture and be like, oh my gosh, look what I made today, it was so delicious. What I might say is, oh my gosh, look what my friend so-and-so made, I can't wait to make that myself, and here's why, here's all the benefits of this. But if you're taking somebody else's picture and then you're saying that it's yours, that's stealing. And you don't want to be misleading your own audience by putting something out there that's not yours. Case in point, I saw somebody put up a picture one day, it was a couple months ago, and then I saw a brand new coach that used that same picture and like, oh my gosh, look at the snack that I just made. I'm like, girl, I know that is not your countertop. Honey, I've been to your house. You do not have that countertop. So we need to have a talk about this. So feel free to use other people's suggestions and ideas and recipes, but unless you have actually made that recipe, that shake, that whatever, don't claim it as yours until you actually make it yours. Does that make sense? Because it's misleading. It's misleading if you're putting a picture of a shake that you made and it's on like a coffee table, and then one of your friends look, I'm like, why is she saying that's hers? I know that's not her coffee table. It just kind of makes you look a little bit foolish, and you know, people aren't going to trust you because they're like, I know that's not her kitchen table. Why, you know, whose house is she at making this shake? People think like that. People are catty and people are petty, and people are going to start perceiving that you're misleading them if you're using somebody else's photos and claiming it as your own. So that's just my little disclaimer on that. We don't want to be misleading. Another thing, always post your disclaimer directly underneath the post. So I should have my laptop here and use this as an example. But what I mean by that is if you're posting a picture and you say, look, I lost, 8 pounds this week and blah, 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 space, disclaimer. Not hit post and then go back in as a comment and post your disclaimer there. It's not going to work. Somebody's not going to read through all of the comments. The disclaimer needs to be directly in that post. So you can go back onto my page and you can kind of see how I do that, where I'll have, description, picture, directly underneath that is going to be the disclaimer. It's not going to be in comments. That's a new rule that Herbalife Corporate has put into effect in the recent months. Before, we used to be able to get away with putting it in the comment section as long as it appeared somewhere, but we have to make sure it's related directly to whatever it is that you're posting about. So put your disclaimers directly under the post, not in the comments. Excuse me. Also, this is a big one. If you know that somebody has worked with another Herbalife client in the past, and I'm just going to use this example because this happened to me. I was a brand new supervisor, and I had another supervisor that was in my downline. Her and I share a mutual friend, and this mutual friend was ordering from both of us. She thought that she was, spreading the wealth between her two friends, and she didn't want to be unfair to one and not the other. She liked us both, whatever. So she was actually ordering from both of us. Well, how I ended up finding out about this is because I posted like a product highlight of the day or something like that on my Facebook page, and she commented underneath that saying she was having problems logging into the GoHerbalife.com website. She needed my assistance to get in. Well, while I was looking into it, my coach in my downline commented underneath her, said, oh, let me see if I can reset that for you. And so I got the notification, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. How is she going to be able to reset a password or something on my website? She can't do that. So I private messaged that fellow coach, and I said, is she a client of yours? And she was like, yeah, we've been talking for the last few months. I'm like, I've been talking to her for the last few months. So we can't be sharing customers. And there's a couple of reasons for doing this. Number one, you want to protect your own business. Let's just say you're telling this client one thing, and then they have another coach telling them another thing, and then there ends up being a problem. Guess who's responsible? Both of you. Because you can't prove one way or the other which coach said what to who. This person can claim that you both said it. And so you don't want to be in a liability problem where this client is getting misleading information from two different coaches. The other reason is because you have people, and I hate to say it, but your friends will do it too. If they know that they have more than one friend that's an Herbalife distributor, and we all put out our little coupon codes and try to save our friends money to drive up our volume points and everything else, you might have a customer that's going to be like, oh, well, Kelly's got the better discount this week, so I'm going to order from her, and then next week I'm going to order from my other friend. So you're going to have somebody that's competing for the better deal. The best way to get somebody's business is just to offer them the discounted member pack, which most of you have. Some of you are active salespeople, and then some of you are just signed up to be members just so that you can get your 25% discount. That's fine. So you just want to make sure if somebody's looking for that better deal, just encourage them to come on as a discounted member, and then they'll always save money, and they don't have to worry about who's got a coupon when, because they'll always have a discount. But you don't want to get into a liability issue, and you also don't want to have bad blood between you, especially if that other person's in your team like mine was. So how I ended up resolving that is, since I was the other coach's upline, if the client was more comfortable ordering from her, well, I'm still going to benefit from that because I'm going to still receive the volume because I'm a supervisor. She might get the money directly, but I'll get volume. So it's a win-win. If the person, and I made sure I let the client know that, hey, if you order from her, we both benefit. I'm not worried about it. So it's whoever you feel more comfortable with, whoever you relate to more on a coach level. Whichever one of us is coaching you better is the one that I would give my business to. I appreciate you wanting to spread your wealth between the two of us. That really goes to show that you're a good friend and everything. But ethically speaking, according to Herbalife's business practices, we can't both knowingly take your business. It doesn't work that way. So I hope that I hadn't offended her. And I hope she's perfectly happy where she's at. So you got to be careful that you're not stealing business. So a lot of times with a new client, one of the first questions I ask them, hey, have you ever worked with another Herbalife coach before? And if they say yes, I say, well, how long has it been since you've placed an order with that coach? If they say, oh, it's been years, she moved, she's not in the business anymore, obviously that's fine. But if they say, oh, well, I ordered from her like last month, but you know, she was really more into it just for the sales portion of it. She didn't really offer coaching. So I want to order through you now because you actually offer coaching. Well, technically that's fine too, because you know, your customer has every right to spend their money where they feel like spending the money. But what you don't want to do is like, yeah, I was working with her like a couple of weeks ago, and you know, I don't have a problem with her. I'm ordering through you now because we're friends, or I'm ordering through you now because you got a coupon this week, or those are the red flags. You're like, no, I'm not taking business. I stand on sound business practices, and I'm not going to steal business from another Herbalife coach. If you have no valid complaints to leave that person, I'm not going to take your business, because knowing it's just wrong. That's like me standing outside of McDonald's trying to sell somebody a Burger King hamburger. You don't want to be on somebody else's territory and step on toes like that. It's just, you want to have good, sound, ethical, trustworthy business practices. So, you know, even if somebody's your best friend, let's just say you referred one of your best friends to me because you know I've done great on the products and everything. You're like, hey, my friend Kelly, she's been doing Herbalife. You should talk to her and help her out, whatever. And then they start buying through me, and everybody's happy. They're getting their products. I'm throwing out a coupon from time to time, whatever. They're getting good coaching. And now all of a sudden you're like, hey, you know what? I want to be a coach too. Well, you know what? I'm going to take that customer back because I refer them to you in the first place, so now it's my turn to make money off them. Not cool, dude. It's just not. So, you know, as your coach, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you build your business, but I'm hoping that you're not going to steal business back from me. Okay? So, good, ethical, trustworthy, sound practice. You wouldn't want somebody doing that to you, so we expect you not to do that to us also. Which is why, which brings me to another point, we don't post coupons publicly. Before, you guys were all my client, or my coaches, you were my clients, and you would notice that I would send you private coupon codes. We don't advertise what our coupon codes are, and we don't advertise what our prices are for the public view. If somebody wants to know what the coupon code is, they have to ask, or you can send it to them in a private message some way. Email, Facebook message, text message, whatever, as long as it's private and it's not open to like the entire world. That reduces competition, and it reduces clients going to the, oh, well, like I said, she's got a coupon this week and it's better than this one's over here, so I'm just going to shop around for the better deal. No, sync them into discounted member pack. So we don't advertise prices. And then number 5 on this list, or number 6, whatever it is, I lost track. Don't compare Herbalife to other brands. Perfect case in point. You will have somebody say, oh, well, I used product A for the last 3 months. What's different about Herbalife? Why should I switch to Herbalife? Say, well, I can't really speak of the other product because I don't know anything about it. What I can tell you about Herbalife is this. I feel great. I've lost 45 pounds. I have so much energy, I don't know what to do with it. I, you know, feel much better, and this, that, and the other thing. And my friend Crystal, she's a mother of 3, and she's lost X amount of weight, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. You don't ever want to say, well, Herbalife is better than product A, because you want to say, I don't know about the other stuff, but what I can tell you about Herbalife is, and keep all the focus on Herbalife. We don't want to throw any other product, any other brand under the bus. You will get burned in a heartbeat, okay? You got to know your Herbalife facts. We've been in business for 35 years. We're on the New York Stock Exchange. We're in 93 countries. You know, we're worth, you know, X billions of dollars, this and that. Our products are backed by nutritionists, our nutrition and scientists, and we've got Nobel Peace Prize winning doctors on our board. Herbalife grows their own tea, and all of our materials are, you know, raw material, so on and so. All this stuff that you learn on your myherbalife.com website is what you want to be telling these people that are trying to compare it to another product. So that's all you say. Say, I don't know about this, but this is what I know about Herbalife. Okay. Another thing is, we are not allowed to do this anymore. This is new. All of us older coaches, we're all guilty of doing it. We would put up like a Photoshop picture of like Starbucks and how many calories would be in a pumpkin whatever latte, and compare that to an Herbalife pumpkin Formula 1 shake. You can compare your Herbalife Formula 1 pumpkin shake to a generic looking Starbucks cup, but you cannot have branding on there anymore. That's the same thing as calling out the other weight loss product. You don't want to call out brand. You could say Herbalife Formula 1 shake is better than having a muffin and a latte, or a muffin and a Coke, or not a Coke, but a soda. You know what I'm saying? No brand names. So we got to be careful that we don't compare Herbalife to other products or brands specifically. If you have any questions about anything that I've gone over, please feel free to ask me so that we don't have any more issues. Okay? So that concludes video part 1, and I know that it was very lengthy, but I've got to get this information out to you, and the best way and the most efficient way for me to get this information out to you is to do these little videos from time to time. Okay? So again, good business practices. Be ethical, be trustworthy, don't be misleading. If you have a question, come to me first, okay? Don't call out other brands, don't compare to other products. Tell your story, and if you don't have a story that's relevant to a question that one of your potential clients is asking, then you can say, well, I personally haven't used that particular, like somebody came to me, what's Herbalife line? And I said, well, I use Herbalife line for this. Well, if somebody came to me and said, hey, what do you know about Herbalife line? Well, what I can tell you is what's on the label. That leads me to another thing. When we're describing our products, Herbalife says we can only describe what's on the label and what's in the book. We can't make up anything else. It has to be what's on the label, what's in the book. What Herbalife provides us is what we're allowed to tell people. So if you've never used Herbalife line before, you can tell them what's on the label. And if they say, well, you know, does it do this and do that? You just have to refer them right back to the label. Okay, you can't make anything up. Also, no medical advice. I thought the video was done, but it's not. We can't give out any medical advice. We are not doctors. We are not nurses. If you are a doctor or a nurse, that's another story. But many of us are not doctors. We are not nurses. We are not medical professionals. We are not allowed to use Herbalife products to diagnose, treat, or cure anybody's anything. And we cannot mislead them to believe that it will treat, cure, or whatever a medical ailment. You can say, well, I had migraines, and since I've been on Herbalife, I haven't had any more migraines. And we used to have a medical disclaimer that you would put underneath of that. Not allowed to do that anymore. They actually deleted the medical disclaimer. So, okay, I'll tuck you in a minute. I'm doing a video right now. I'll be there in a second. Always working. So you got to be very careful not to diagnose or treat. You can say, you can go to our website, you can see that we have products listed in our heart health and our digestive health, and you know, I know that my friend has diabetes and these are the products that she takes, but we cannot diagnose or give anybody the impression that we're diagnosing, treating, or curing a medical ailment. So encourage them to do research. That person that asked me about Herbalife line the other day, I sent them an email that I found on Google about the benefits of adding omega-3 fatty acids to your diet. I was like, this is why I take omega-3. These are all the benefits. Herbalife has a product called Herbalife line that has all of the omega-3 fatty acids that I need. So that's why I take it. So, all right, I am going to conclude this video and I'm going to start working on the next one.